Me, Pastor Ray. Welcome to another mentorship moment with me. Sunday night, I was so inspired as I was going through all of my birthday gifts, just looking at how people were so generous, blessed me, and had sown into my life. And I was praying the scripture over everyone that had sown, that he who receives a prophet in the name of a prophet receives a prophet's reward. And as I prayed that, the Holy Spirit immediately just brought to my heart the widow of Zarephath. And I was just reminded of how she was about to eat her last meal, she and her son, and then die. There was severe barren, severe extreme lack in the land. And she had nothing left, just one meal left, and didn't know how her sustenance was going to continue. And this prophet of God comes, and she received him well. And he said to her, well, give me that last meal. I can just imagine modern day newspapers, how they would have run with that. Tele-evangelist takes widow's last meal, or prosperity preacher strikes again, Sometimes God's way and the kingdom system and the way of doing things in the kingdom is in direct conflict and confrontation with everything that we've been taught in the world. But we have to trust God and his word and what he says, and that his way works perfectly and successfully every time. The widow of Zarephath, what was so special about this story is that she sowed her last bit of meal or flour and her last little bit of oil into the prophet's life. And not only did he live, but she lived and her son lived. And she had a supply. And this is what's so interesting about the story. The supply, very, very rare in scripture, but here's one of the special places where we find that the supply lasted for over 3 years. If you calculate that, that's just over 1,000 days. So we see right here in the Old Testament, 1,000-fold harvest. So when you sow into a prophet, I truly believe that you can receive a very special, you can put a demand on the word for a very special harvest. But it's not just the 1,000-fold harvest that gets me about that story. When the prophet came into her house, she did not know that her son was on his last few days, and he then died. And the prophet was there, and this is before the cross, prayed for her son, and he was raised from the dead. And so she saw an incredible miracle. So I just wanted to say thank you to everybody that sowed into my life. I honor you and I bless you. And I want to give you that word to strengthen and encourage you. Don't just expect 1,000-fold for God to return and take care of you, but expect him to do the miraculous for the situations that you don't even know about or know that you're going to face. Expect that he will come through for you. That's the word that he gave me for you, and I want you to run with it in faith, because God watches over his word to perform it. Nice connecting with you. Thanks for sharing the message. God bless until we chat again.